on? Are we live? Do we have all the things working? I think I am. Looks like I am. I'm always super paranoid now about the mic situation. So hopefully you guys will tell me if all good. Okay. Hi, Resin. Hi, Gina. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Roxilla. Doug Wagner. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you coming in as Charlani every day. That's a lot of fun. But as I'm like working through my day, I'm realizing that there are so many places that I need to update the Charlani TV to Charlani every day. You guys, and I knew it was going to be a process, but I thought I kind of got in front of everything. Clearly I did not. Hi, Molly. Good to see you. I'm so happy that you're in here. I'm very excited about today, and I'm going to try to stay on track because I am sharing with you the many options and different ways to use the planner page. Now, even if you don't have my planner page, I think some of the tips that I'm going to share with you, you'll be able to implement into whatever planner system and planning system you already use. I'm going to show you kind of my evolution and how I created and came up with this whole concept here of time blocking. But it doesn't have to be time blocking. Time blocking is my preferred way to schedule out my week because it makes most sense. And I am the kind of person who needs to stay focused. If I want to have a productive day, I have to stay focused on exactly what I have to get done. I need to know what I'm doing and when I am supposed to be doing it. So that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. Couple things first though. Let me just say, next week, we will not be live streaming. I am going to be out of town. So next week, we are skipping, but we'll be back in the week after that. I wanted to make sure that you knew that. And then I will share with you, and if for some reason, I can't imagine that I would, but at the end, I will show you the project that I'm working on and give you a sneak peek and kind of tell you what's coming down the pipe. Because, I'm so very excited about it. So, next week we will not be streaming, but we will be back the week after that. Topic to be determined. And I think what I also want to do is at some point, if you're following me over in Instagram on my Charlani Everyday account, I will share like a little sticker in my stories, probably the Friday before we stream, Thursday or Friday before we stream, and ask you, what is your biggest like planning obstacle? Like what gets you stuck? And maybe it'll just be kind of like a Q&A or just an A to the Q. So whatever your question is or whatever the problem is that you guys tell me in the Instagram, on that Instagram sticker, I will come in and let's just answer them. Because here's the other thing. Never not ask me a question. That was the worst way to construct that sentence. My teacher peeps. Jen, if you're watching, I know that was terrible. But don't ever not ask me a question because if it's a question for you, I am pretty sure it is a question for other people too. So I am always happy, even if you feel like it's redundant or you think it's something that you should already know, don't be shy. Don't be shy here. There's no judgment. This is an absolute judgment-free zone. So ask your questions so I can try to help you work through it and answer that for you. Now, you're also probably see we have a different background. We're working on it. That is a work in progress, but sunlight. I am facing my window opposed to it being on the side of me, which brings me all the life because I used to have a big like box light right in front of me. and it hurt my eyes so badly. So I don't have a light in front of me. That is just sunlight, and that will be the way it is because this is the time we stream. We'll always have sunlight. Might be a cloudy day, but we'll always have sunlight. So yes, background is different. We are going to play around with what you guys see back there over time. Tomorrow's video, my main YouTube video now is on Sundays. So you'll see the transformation of what we've done in this office and also around the rest of the house because we moved some furniture around and all the things. That was my white space the other day. So videos will be, my main video of the week will be on Sundays from here on until further notice. I am hoping, fingers crossed, well, I'm not even going to put a date on it. I am hoping to get back to the 2 to 3 videos a week soon. Right now, in creating this brand new brand and creating it from scratch, my days are full. So, but that's all like startup stuff. Eventually, we're going to have a system and we're going to have, you know, a way for me to do things much quicker because I'm kind of getting those systems down pat now. So hopefully in the next several weeks, we'll be able to get back to our regularly scheduled long form videos on YouTube. But okay, so for now, let's go ahead and get into it because I want to show you a little bit of my evolution of how we got to this. And I know that there are so many ways that people use planners, schedules. Sometimes we block time. Sometimes we don't need that. And I have been, and thank you for those of you who share how you're using these planners. A lot of what I'm going to show you today too is from people over these years. So in my network marketing company that I am partnered with, that I don't grow that anymore. That's not a business that I'm working on right now. Never say never, but for now, I have put that ball off to the side. That plate is set over here for now. But for many years, I ran, it's called the Studio Fit Club. And this planning system, these pages, they have had access to for years. And many of those girls still use these till this day. So a lot of what I am going to share with you is me working through the process of how to make this work for them and their schedules. So I'll share all of that with you. But here's what I want to say. So I have been a planner for a very, very long time. Like, as long as I can remember, I have been a planner. Like, literally, as long as I can remember. I've always had a planner or a sticker book or, you know, anything that I can write down what I'm supposed to be doing or I'm going to forget about it. I've been the queen of to-do lists forever, and I love it, and it makes me happy, and it makes me feel organized, which makes me feel happy. So I wanted to show this to you because when I first started planning, this is one of the only ones that I could find right now, but in 2006, I just wanted to show how simple my game plan was. And you absolutely can have a simple system and still be super organized and feel like you have your ish together. So back in 2006, I used my planner this way where it just says, let me change this. Is this good? Okay. It just says, and this is an at a glance planner. I think that's at a glance. Oh my gosh, that's so old. But that's what I started with, at a glance planners. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. They're not the prettiest things, but they get the job done. And if you're wanting to be productive, that is number one. The most important thing is you want, the whole point of having a planner and a planning system and a schedule is so that you are productive and you get things that are supposed to be done. So I started with at a glance many years ago. Day timer, that's another one. That might be the day timer logo. I don't know. Well, now I'm stuck. Oh, this is called the Go Mom Planner. So I have gone through many, many different ones. I've gone to, like, you just go into Office Depot or Staples, and you just go through and look at their planners and see which one speaks to you. So apparently this one at that time spoke to me. So I would just it's blocked off in AM, noon, PM. 3 simple sections, and I would write down whatever it is that I needed to get done in the mornings, afternoons, evenings. Very simple, but it kept me on track. It reminded me of the things that needed to get done. I want to point this out because look, it says cap and gown pics. And so this was 2006, which means that must have been Robbie's kindergarten graduation. And that's the other thing. When you get to look back at some of the things that you've done, like, it brings you back to that time. Oh, I love it. It's so much fun going through. Oh my gosh, we had dance, we had football. There were so many things. So anyways, that is how I started planning. It's just very simple. You got AM, noon, PM. Very easy. It allowed me to know exactly where I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be done, and not miss out the important stuff. Then this is an at a glance. Like I said, at a glance is kind of where I really started to hone in my planner skills. But this is what that looked like. And this was just a big block of space within the day. So this weekly planner, see if this can go up a little bit. But this weekly planner is just one planner or 1 week spread over the 2 pages. So I was able to come in and write down everything that needed to get done. When I did it, I would highlight it, which brings in the color. If you like color, which I know a lot of you do, and that has been a question that I've been asked, like, how do you color it if you want to color it? Well, that's one way, is you can go in and you can just highlight, things that have been done. So this was just, I would write down where I was supposed to be, any appointments, what I needed to do for work. Now, you also know I am a big proponent of you have one life, which means you should have one planner. One life, one planner. Not a business planner and then a life planner and maybe a something else planner. You have one set of 24 hours in a day, and so that you don't have conflicting, so that you don't have conflicting appointments and things like that, one planner. So you can see everything as a whole. I don't think you could ever talk me out of that. I think that's across the board how I feel about it. Okay, and again, same thing here. Now, one of the things that always kind of distracted me, or I got super tired of it, was coloring. And you can see that this is orange, and I loved it at the time that I bought it, but by the time you get to like later in the year, it's like, okay, I'm over the orange, right? At least that's how I am. And then the other thing is, and so I'm kind of getting to the point of why I created what I created and how I use it. That kind of incorporates all of these things. But one of the other things too is the calendar spread. Now, this is also very, very important. It is a huge key, a part of the process of making sure that you don't forget things, that things don't slip through the cracks. This is going to be incorporated, a monthly planner, in our next launch. Now, we'll talk about the next launch here at the very end. Let me get through this stuff first. So after that, so that was 2014, 2015, or 2014. I moved over because I found the wonderful world of Erin Condren. Loved Erin Condren for several years. And that process is a little bit different, where this is actually just blocked off in one big long line. I don't have a date that I can show you like what the original was. Oh, here, like this. You can see by the end of a year, I'm into a new planner. So it was just blocked off this way. And instead of morning, day, and night, I actually just had to-dos, my medical billing to-dos. Like these are personal to-dos, medical billing to-dos, and my network marketing coaching, those to-dos right here. And that is how I decided to switch this up. And I want to empower you to use your imagination too in how can you make this work for you. So the morning, day, and night didn't really work for me. I preferred to restructure it using washi tape, pretty it up using stickers, things like that. But again, you can implement this concept in the planner pages too. I'm going to show you different examples of that. I think there were reasons why I wanted to show you these things. That same, 2016. So then I got to where this process, doing this, making it pretty, was starting to take up too much time. I was getting really busy, didn't have time for that. And then just started going to much more simple situation where I didn't have a lot of color, that I felt like it was distracting me. And then if I use my washi tape and I didn't like the stickers and all that, I had to live with it for the week. And that drove me nuts, because if I didn't like the way it looked, you don't want to look at it. You're like, well, I don't want to look at that. So this is where I kind of headed. I wanted it to be a little more monochromatic. I wanted it to be simpler. And that is when the black and the white kind of came in, and you just put the washi tape, black and white, kept it nice and easy. Then it was about 2019 where what I loved the most was that I could create my own cover. I thought that was just amazing and I loved it. But I was also starting to feel like that planning system wasn't working for me anymore. I needed something to be a little bit more strategic. So you can see not even halfway, this is March, halfway or into it, this wasn't working for me anymore. And I didn't want to have to restructure everything. So then I tried the High Performance Planner by Brendan Burchard. He is amazing and one of my favorite mentors. He is like one of those BFFs from afar. I have learned so much from him. But he came out with a High Performance Planner. And boy, did I use this all the time, every day, to a T. All the time, every day. I filled out all the things. They give you these morning mindset, evening mindset prompts, like journal prompts, things like that. But then after a couple months, it's too much. It was just too much for me to go in and have to take the time to write those things out. Now, I loved it while it served its purpose, but then I am about being structured and finding a way for things to make sense to me, but I don't like to waste time. I really, truly, if I'm going to sit down to get something done, I want to get it done and I don't want to waste time. So then I created my own planner. All of those things that I just showed you was how I put together something that worked for me. I used it for years. And then I ended up sharing it with the women in my Studio Fit Club. I was like, hey, here's the PDF. If you guys like it, go print it out, which they did. And so many of my girls still use this today. And they, over these course of these years, we have tweaked it up and we have made it into something really, really cool. Like the information in it is kind of like a mashup of things that worked for all of us. So this was like the prototype of this planner. And we added in these tabs here. And what I realized was this worked for me for a really long time, but I am always in the mindset of how can we make this better? Like, this is great and this is awesome and I love it, but how can it be even more functional, better for me to use, more convenient? And what I didn't like about it, or what I thought could be better, I'll say it that way, what I thought could be better was that I would always have to go in, and if you go in and you're looking at your calendar, you would have to constantly like flip back and forth. And I would rather have had a calendar separated from my weekly game plan so I can have my calendar open and my weekly game plan open and I could see both at the same time. Convenience saves time because you're not having to flip back and forth. So those are just little things that over time made more sense. And now I am absolutely in the mindset of how can we make this better? How can the experience of planning out my week be more efficient? And that is when the notepad concept kind of came about, because I now know that, oh my gosh, this is working and it's functional and it's so much easier to physically write this here while I'm looking at this and I'm not having to flip back and forth through the different pages. So the booklet that I'm working on is going to be kind of like an all-inclusive. It's going to be the monthly calendar. It's going to be a place for your running to-do list for the month. So it's going to be just, I picture it and I'm like, it's everything. It is everything. And part of my planner in the very beginning, let's see, where do I have, is basically it's almost like an ebook where I'm giving very structured information. All of that is going to be a part of the booklet. So coming soon. I'm working on it, you guys, as fast as I possibly can. Like, I am running, sprinting. I'm up till super late at night. I was up till 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. the other night talking to my clipfolio maker, my leather maker, and we were going back and forth of the different customizations that I want. And I'm very excited that, number one, I have somebody who is as, like, not OCD, but who is very particular about certain things. So I think that all in all, we are coming up with just a system that literally is going to work for everybody. And then also, by the way, so what we have inevitably come to, this is the last prototype of the planner. I just had it downloaded. I bounded it Kinko's really quick. And this is when everything kind of came together, and the padfolio or the notepads were very much like, this is going to make a lot of sense, because now what I can do is plan my week, again, prototype, trying to figure out what was working for me. And this is where I figured out that this is what I love. So anyways, that planning out my week like this and having a separated monthly calendar like this made all the sense in the world. And that flopping back and forth was completely eliminated, and I loved it. The other thing I love is that after a week, that week is done. Like, you should not have to go back and revisit your previous week. Hopefully you got all the things done. But I keep a basket and I just throw these in at the end of the week, because at the end of that week, after I review the week, I just rip it off and we are done. And then you're left with a fresh calendar or a fresh planner for the week. It's beautiful, like a whole brand new thing. The other thing is, when I was doing weekly planners in, something like this, like, you don't want to rip out a page out of this planner. That's just not something that you want to do, right? So you kind of live with the way it looks or what's on it. But with this system, you're done with it, and you can just save your sheets to come back to later in time when you're like, remember how busy I was at that time? So that is another just perk of having a notepad rather than having an actual like spiral bound planner. Now, if you're somebody who uses a disc planner, listen, I tried to use a disc planner for about 5 minutes. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. But that's me. I always say whatever works for you, use that. Whatever is going to get you to plan and make you feel good and feel efficient, do that. I didn't like the discs. I felt like I was losing a lot of things, and definitely flopping back and forth in a disc planner, that is not ideal. It doesn't work, to be honest. It just doesn't work. So that is, for me, one of the reasons, because I do get asked that, is my planner, when I have my planner out, is it going to be spiral bound or disc bound? And I'm like, it's going to be neither of those things, because neither of those things are efficient for the way I feel like everybody should use their planning system. Simple, quick, efficient, easy to use, not confusing, not overwhelming. I need a simplified system, and I feel like this is that. Okay, listen, this is my life right now. This is the level of busyness that I am, that I have to schedule hourly. I have to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, way in advance. Like, this is, I have to schedule it this way. But hopefully in the next few weeks, things will be simplified for me. Once I have my own systems set in place for social media, launching, packing orders, ordering, like all of those things will have its own section in my day. But right now I'm a little bit all over the place because I have a lot of balls in the air. And I usually say, don't have a lot of balls in the air. You got to pick what's a priority. But when you're a startup and you're starting a brand new business and you're launching new product, like that, you're in startup mode. And every minute, every hour of the day is precious and it's important. So I have to be this structured for these next few weeks. And then hopefully after that, there'll be a happy medium of what I need to do. So here is one example of, and I'm just going to go through several different examples of how you can use these planner pages, because if you are not a block timer, that's okay. You don't have to be a block timer. You can be a mini block timer where you have just a few things. Like maybe you just write in the time of a doctor's appointment. You write in a to-do that you want to make sure that you're going to get done. Maybe you're going to put your meetings in here. If you like to color code things and you want to highlight certain things, maybe all of your medical appointments are pink. Maybe your meetings online are all purple. Maybe your kids' extracurriculars are all yellow. Maybe you'll create a little legend kind of off to the side saying this is what this is. If you're an entrepreneur and you are highly into social media content, maybe you'll put when you're working on YouTube stuff, when you're working on Instagram, when you're working on TikTok, whatever it is, and color code that, the legend, and then every time you allot time to that one particular thing, you highlight it. So then what's kind of cool is at a glance, you can go in and see what it is exactly that you're spending the majority of your time on by color, right? So if you're like, I wonder why my Instagram's not growing, or I wonder why my YouTube's not growing, I wonder why I don't have any views going up. Well, it's because you've not allotted any time throughout your week for that. So it's just another way to, number one, get some color in there. If the black and white monochrome is too simple for you, then pretty it up. Use highlighters, use different pens. I'll show you here in a second different pens. The other thing is down here, you can use this as just a reminders place, and it doesn't have to be every single day, but this is a reminder that you want to drink water, you want to walk 10,000 steps, you want to call your mom, check in with your kids if you're an empty nester and you want to check in with your kids, or call your mom. Then you'll have this here so that you can say, okay, so twice a week I want to call mom. And you'll know that when you come down and look at this and it's Thursday and you've not even called your mom once, then you'll know I should probably give my mom a call, right? It's a reminder. So it doesn't have to be a task every day. This could also just be your reminder column. Birthdays, maybe you just want a place to have so you don't forget birthdays. And then here's another way that you can do this. So you do maybe a block timing system, but a little bit more simplified. Instead of hourly, you do an 8 a.m. This is everything from 8 a.m. to 12. And you write it willy-nilly, however you want to write it in there. And then you do 12 to 5 right here. And then your evening stuff right here. Like that is why this is plain. And I hope I empower you to use your imagination and figure out, this is my schedule, try different things, see what works best for you and your brain. All of our brains work different. So I think that you figuring it out for yourself makes most sense. And the other thing that I have talked to others about too, and if you think, oh, I don't have the imagination, just show me. So I will absolutely do that, but you have to try it. Like, I can't make you try something. You have to try it and see what feels right to you. Now, another way to use the scorecard section down here is if you're trying to create a new habit. This is your tracker for that. You can use it for if you want to start a new morning happy hour and you need to remind yourself you want to journal for 10 minutes. You want to meditate for 10 minutes. You want to read for 10 minutes. Schedule that in and then have your checklist right here so you know what you're doing in that morning happy hour. I could go into a big, huge thing about happy hours. Maybe we'll talk about that at some point down the road, because you do need to know before the morning of your happy hour, your morning happy hour, you have to know what you're going to do exactly. Because if you get up that morning, you're like, I'm going to try doing morning happy hours, and it's the morning of, you're going to be like, I don't know where to start. You're not going to be able to think about it. It's too early. So write down the things that you want. You got to plan, get in front of it a little bit so that the morning of you have things in here. But this is what you can use to create new habits. And then as you do it, check it off. At the end of the week, you can come back and go, oh my gosh, look at that. I did that 5 days this week. That's amazing. So those are just things that you can use this section for. Another way to do it is just like what I did in the very beginning of my planning process as a mom of littles. It was AM, noon, PM. So this was, what did I need to get done in the morning? What did I need to get done in the afternoon? What did I need to get done in the evening? So very simple. You write down however you want in this way, and then you just write in whatever it is that you're doing at those times. Now, I showed you my 2006 calendar where literally I just wrote in there what it was that I was doing in those times and little reminders up there. Put your little reminders up here. I could have had cap and gown pictures up here, right? So, and then down here, again, another way to use the scorecard. If you are trying to be healthy, this is the best way to track your habits. Because if you're wanting to not snooze every 5 days out of the week, you have a not snooze line. You want to eat clean, work out, get outside, get to bed on time, drink all the water. If you want to do dishes before bed, that is one I need to work on. Maybe you want to wash your face every single night. Another one to work on. So this can be just tracking habits that you are trying to stay on top of. Now, this is one of the ones that we kind of came up with in the Studio Fit Club, in that you can use AM, afternoon, PM in this top section right here. Hi, B3. Oh, thank you so much. $20 super chat. You're amazing, my friend. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that very, very much. Running errands, checking off my list, and listening in. Love that. Getting stuff done. GSD days. Love, love. So this right here is a section that we came up with where if you want to use this as a planner of what you're going to eat for dinner every single week, and if you're starting a new journey to get healthy especially, food is your number one. You can work out, you can do all the things, but you can't outwork a bad diet. You've all heard that. It is the truth. You can work out until you're blue in the face, but if you're not eating and fueling your body correctly, not only will that be more painful, but you're not going to get healthier if you're still fueling your body with crappy food. So if you want to get in front of that, this is what you can do to create a weekly menu. What are you going to have for dinner? Maybe you don't need all of this up here. Make another section for lunch, for breakfast, for snacks. If you just want to use this process, this concept, this template, you can make this your food journal. It's another way to use it. Totally different. And then down here, if you are wanting to keep track of your social media, again, like I said, if you're like, why am I not growing over here on this platform? And you look and you've checked off once your Instagram. You posted once to Instagram. You're like, oh, well, that's why I'm not showing up there. Now, this section right here is definitely kind of like your mirror, the way that you're going to see you set these determining things, these tasks that you wanted to do. You check them off when you get them done. And when people say, oh, I forgot to check it off, that happens every once in a while, but for the most part, when you do things, you want to check it off. You want to check it off. Don't tell me that you have never made a to-do list and you already did something and you added it to the to-do list just so that you could check it off. You know you've done that. I think we've all done that. So anyways, this is another way for you to track how often you're showing up. Another way to use this is you could put your subscriber count or your follower count into these boxes so you know how you're growing. For whatever reason, numbers are hard for me, and remembering numbers is the worst. Like, I can't tell you to the 10 of how many YouTube subscribers I have. It doesn't come to me that way. But it gets more ingrained into my brain if I come in here and I write down that count every day, right? Because when you write things, there is that connection between your brain and your mind, which, by the way, is going to be an epic reel coming up next week. I'm very excited about my reels next week. I've been doing all the things this week, you guys. Okay, here's another thing. Let's say that you are like, I do nothing in the morning, or you already know what you do in the morning. Like your schedule for the morning is set. You don't need to write it down. So you don't want to use precious real estate on this planner to do that. So maybe your day technically really starts where you need accountability in the afternoon or in the evening. And then likewise, if you have, say, a challenge that you're doing, right now I'm in the midst of 75 hard. So there are certain things that you need to do every day to be on track, to stay on track. And if you write them down here, it'll remind you of the things that you need to do on a daily basis. So get your first workout done. Did you do your second workout? Take your picture. Read 10 pages, drink water, eat clean, no alcohol, no cheat meals. Sounds kind of awful, right? It's wonderful. I'll tell you, it is wonderful. Right, Gina? Because I know Gina has done it too. If Tiffany's in here, I know Tiffany's done it as well. So this is another way to use this here. If you're doing a challenge or you're challenging yourself for the next 7 days, I want to do this. Write it here. This is your accountability regarding the tasks that you set for yourself. Okay, if you want a little bit of color, let me lift it. I think this is easier. You can grab some pens and you can write out the colors like that. I grabbed my straight edge. I just used this. This right here. And I just used color pens. And I color coded it that way. And then if you want to highlight on top of that, then you can highlight on top of that. Keep your weekend separate. So this is just another look of how you can tweak it up. And then again, if you're trying to get healthy and you want those habits to become something that you don't forget to do every day, or you need that reminder, or you need to keep track of what you're doing, miles run, total steps for the day. How much water did you drink? I don't want to eat fast food. I want to start meal prepping. Then you can see how many days did you meal prep? How many days did you go without eating fast food? How many ounces of water did you drink? How many total steps did you get in for the day? How many miles did you run? Let's say you're training for a marathon and you want to get in 15 miles over across the entire week. So you'll know if you're going to go out and run 5 days a week, you got to run 3 miles a day. Does that math work? Yeah. 5 times 3? 15. Yeah. So that works. So you would write in here, on Monday, I ran 3 miles. Or on Monday, I ran 2 miles. On Tuesday, I ran 3. On Wednesday, I ran 4. On Thursday, I ran 5. And then when you get to the 15, you know you've hit your goal. And hopefully you go above and beyond that. That would just be even better, right? So that is just another way to use this. So I hope that that has helped you guys kind of envision a different way to use the exact same system. Because you don't need to go and buy a brand new planner every time your lifestyle changes, or every time your schedule changes, or every time you have a new challenge coming at you. You're starting a new job. It's the same thing. You can structure it out, which is why this is so amazing, because it's customizable to literally everybody's needs. I am hoping soon that I'll go from a schedule that is completely blocked out like that to something that looks more like AM, noon, PM, right? It's a little bit simpler. Something like this, a little bit simpler. But you can make it whatever you want. And side note, I'm also working on and trying to, hi 949 Designs, $10 super chat. Aloha. I appreciate that very much. You're amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am working on getting these examples somewhere. It'll probably be a highlight in my Instagram. I'm feeling like that's the easiest way to do it. And then if in the next couple months, I'm hoping July, we'll see a lot of things that are coming down the pipe. But I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to launch this whole brand new system that I have in my brain. We're getting things done and we're putting in the work to bring it to fruition. But boy, has it been not a challenge, because I feel like because this has been the best thing I've ever done. One of the best things I've ever done. I am enjoying every step of this process like you could not believe. I'm going to go through the chats really quick. And then I'll show you what I've been working on. I'm so excited about it. Yes, keep your eyes on the road. All of this great information. Oh, thank you, Susanna. Thank you. I'm glad my whole goal of everything is just to help you, right? It's just to help you figure out how to get your life in order, how to bring together personal life, business, priorities, extracurriculars, white space, and make time for the things that are important to you, because that is truly how you are going to find that happiness. But here's the thing. When you create a game plan, you do obviously have to be disciplined in looking at it and making sure that you are addressing the things that you have set up for yourself. So if you create a game plan for the whole week and then you don't look at your game plan for the week, then you're wasting time. And I don't want that for you. So becoming disciplined, having a system and a process and planning out your days, and they're tweakable, obviously. This is not exactly how my days go, for sure not. Especially this week. Like, I actually swapped 2 of my full days because I decided I wanted to film the video and get my office kind of reorganized. So I flopped a couple of days. So I'm flexible with that. But I still pay attention to what my priorities are. And I know a lot of times, a lot of people have said, and you may think it too, like, I could never be that structured. I'm not always this structured either. I am this structured right now because I have a huge goal to set by the end of the year. And I'm hoping to get back to where I can just jot down a few things that I need to get done for that day. Like, I still have my schedule, but it's a little bit more flexible. It's not as this hour I'm doing this hour I'm doing that. Depends on what chapter in life you're on, right? It depends on where you're at, what your current situation is. Like, people who have, like, stay-at-home moms especially, if you have kids, or stay-at-home dads, if you have kids and they are out of school, your time when your kids are out of school looks completely different than what your time looks like when your kids are in school. Yeah? Right? Like, totally different schedule. Well, you don't need to go buy a new planner for that. Your schedule can tweak and change a little bit. I had a point that I was going with it somewhere there, and I completely forgot it. I have to use color or I get lost in what I got to do. Yeah? Color helps too. It's whatever your eye goes to, right? Whatever your eye is looking for, you got to create that system to do that. Let's see. Oh, wait. I have to move something really quick. It is already 11:50 and we haven't even taken time to plan. So I'm going to go through these really quick, bang through them. Again, thank you B3 and 949 for the super chats. I love that. It makes me feel so good. You could definitely do it if it's something you set out. Oh. I have an elliptical in my living room collecting dust I can barely get myself to using. Do it, resin. Set it in stone. Every day at this time, I'm going to do it. Start with 5 minutes, girlfriend. 5 minutes. Then work your way up to 10. Then 20. And if you start with 5 minutes and then you're like, oh, I can keep going. Challenge yourself to keep going. You got this. You can absolutely do this. It's a good to try variety of experience or change things up a bit all the time. Yeah, I love that. And I saw something, Resin, that you said up here about I started to wake up more on time this week. Hopefully I can make my happy hour incorporated in the next couple weeks. Yeah. And again, a little bit at a time. So you have to determine what kind of person you are. Are you the kind of person who needs to go hard on something and it's all or nothing? Or are you the kind of person who needs to go baby steps, right? I think there is absolutely a happy medium there where if you go too slow, it's just going to take too long for you to get results. But if you dive all in, it's too much at once. You got to find the happy medium. For me, 75 hard is an all in. Like you're jumping all in for all the things. It's workouts, it's eating clean, it's mindset work, it's all the things. But the clarity that I feel eating healthy, eating clean, no preservative foods, it's been absolutely amazing. I think today's day 20 for me. Yeah, day 20. And it's 75 days, so we are not even halfway in. But we're good. We're good. But yeah, little bit at a time. And it's the same thing with your planning situation. Start small. Just start with writing down what you need to get done for those days. Start with just your AM, afternoon, PM. You know, keep it very, very simple. And I think when I started, obviously, I am setting up my planner in a way that works for me. So that is how I am doing this right now. But I want you to know and see that there are so many other ways that you can use this too. So I hope that helps for sure. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to show you a sneak peek of this. I wasn't gonna, and I wasn't supposed to. Like, the game plan was to show them all. But I just can't help myself because I'm so in love that it's been the biggest game changer. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that at some point, you'll realize that, because here's the thing. When I decided to do the notepads, I was a little mad at myself, like, why didn't I start this whole thing 5 years ago when it was on my heart, when I really wanted to create my own planner? Well, 5 years ago, it wouldn't have turned into what it is today, what it's going to be. All these things that I have been working on, it wouldn't be that. And I think that this is so much better than what my original concept would have been. And it's going to be interchangeable. So we started with the padfolio. I used it for several weeks. And there were just a few things that I didn't care for that much about it. And like I said, what I'm creating is something that I think will work for everybody in every situation. So, yes, Resin, I do too. Absolutely. Things happen for a reason, or things don't happen for a reason. Like a window will close for whatever reason, but another one always opens. And I was on a walk with Kai the other morning, and I got super emotional because I was like, this is the time. This is when this is supposed to happen. Because I wouldn't have seen this 3 or 4 years ago, because I wouldn't have had some of the experiences that I've had over the last couple of years. closing the medical billing business and jumping into network marketing, and now going into being a small business owner on a completely different scale. So these are things that I now realize. I'm like, I was a little mad at myself. Like, oh, why didn't I just do this earlier? I would be so much further. But this wouldn't have come to fruition then because I wasn't ready for it. I didn't see it. So we're working on not a padfolio, a clipfolio. And instead of sticking a notepad into the sleeve, we will have a clip, which makes the most sense. And then I just have a band that holds it down so that, let me change this. So when you open it like this, it doesn't flop all over the place. It stays just like that. Let me do this one. It has a place for your to-do list. This is just this is going to it represents the booklet monthly calendar that I'm working on. So that's why this is in here. But this is going to be a system. But here's the kicker of this system. Look at, and I'm going to take off, planner name. Let me take this off so you guys can really see. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at how beautiful this is. So I was talking to my leather guy. His name's Peter. And he went to the website because we've been talking about what we're doing. And we went to the website and he was like, I have something that I think will be perfect for you. And he sent this to me and I just about died. A few tears were shed. I can't believe how beautiful it is. So the black is obviously the black. And then we've got some color options. The color options I'm going to save for, you gotta wait for it. But I got it in this one. No. Oh, no. So we're working on some of the customizations because I've been using this for a little bit now. So we're working on pockets and the placement and sizing of things because I want the notepad to fit in there like perfectly. So many exciting things to come. And it's exciting, I think, that you guys kind of are like coming on this journey with me. And I appreciate the feedback that you guys have given me too. So yeah, lots of fun, exciting things coming down the pipe, but it is going to be busy. So I've been talking for an hour. I really hope that you guys have gotten some info out of all of that. We do need to plan this week. So I want to take just 10 minutes because I need to get my week plan too. Like, this is important time for me as well. So we will put 10 minutes on the clock. And what I'm pretty much going to do, and what I did last week, was I kept this part pretty much empty so that each day, because what I was doing the next day determined what I was going to do the next. Wait, let me start that over. What I did the day before determined what I was going to do the next day. So I had to go day by day. This week is going to be no different. Exactly the same. I've moved my desk stuff around, so I have to find things. Okay, I've got my timer right here. We're just going to go 10 minutes today. Get as far as you can. So grab your planner if you have one. And let's get to planning this week ahead. I'm just going to write down things that I know I'm going to have. So the first thing is going to be grab your calendar, open your calendar so that you know what is coming up for the week ahead. Like Kai's got to get his vaccines done, so I know I need to allot time for that. Need to get that in there. I have a mini course I'm going to take. So listen, for anybody who loves flowers and things like that, like I'm working on my flower garden, which, spoiler alert, things are growing. My rabbit stuff is working. So anyways, Floret has a, if you go to their website, Floret, Floret, she has a mini course. It's free, all about cut flowers. So I don't know if it's for dahlias, but it's cut flowers. I'm taking a mini course next week, and I'm so excited about it. So I have that on here, so I need to make sure that I write that on my weekly schedule so I don't forget. And then we're out of town this weekend, so I am. So I'm going to make sure that I get that on here, which means this week, since I am going out of town, this week is going to be epically busy. Okay. And then obviously you got to put in here your week of. Okay. Let's get some music on. I can't do anything without music. I just can't.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where.
And I don't have a time for the mini course yet. I think it's just going to be an email. I don't know. So I just have that here so that I'll know to kind of look out for that day.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down.
And remember, no live stream on Saturday. This is all white space. Hi, Samira. Hello, hello. Ooh, hi from Texas. We're in Texas too. Okay. All right. So what did work for me last week for sure was the 7 o'clock happy hour and then walk with Kai. and then post office. This schedule right here absolutely worked for me this week, so I want to keep it. So I'm just writing that all the way through. And then I get ready for the day when I get home. You know what? I just scribbled right through that when technically, no. I still got stuff to do that morning before we head out. Alright. In fact, I need to be very specific here. Post office, get ready, read, and pack up. So then I can say to Rob, I'm going to be leaving around 11. So hopefully, yeah. Okay, leave that. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, we have like a minute, but I want to just point out something that I'm using, the way that I am using my, oh, I didn't know it was not on the thing, sorry. Let's go down. So I use this as my own task list of things that I need to get done. Checking into my social medias, different platforms, things like that. I need reminders, or I could get pulled down the suck hole of social media. So for me to stay on track and know that I am hitting all of the platforms, I know that I will mark it here when I do that. The way that I do that is, so for example, I have 2 workouts a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one outside, one inside. So my outside morning walk is a walk with Kai. So what I do is I just draw a line through the box, and then when I get it done, I just scribble that out. That ends up looking like this. Like this is today. I've already done my walk with Kai, so I'll do that, right? So that is how I keep track of like multiple things. Share my shake in our group. I check YouTube Studio. I go into the comment section. My goal is morning and night. Like I want to get it done twice a day. I check in. If I don't schedule that in or remind myself, either I could forget and not check in at all, or just maybe check in the morning, but I forget to do it in the afternoon, or I can't remember if I did or not, and then I don't, and then at the end of the week, you're like, you've got 5 days worth of comments to go through. So I like to go twice a day. So check my studio. I go twice for comments. Check in with the Studio Fit Club twice a day. Check my website and Etsy. Go in and pack any orders. I do that twice a day. And then for my YouTube, did I do a video or a short? For my social, so I don't need to do anything there. I just write V or S, which you can see right here. Short, 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 right? And then on Sunday, it will be V because my video will go out tomorrow. And then for my socials, I have 3 Instagram accounts. One is the Live Happy Planner, which is my main one, kind of what I'm really going to start focusing on here next week. Charlani Every Day is my personal, like that's the behind the scenes of all the things, life stuff. And then I have my Live Happy Home, which is back burner. Every once in a while I'll throw a post up there if I have a pretty house picture, but that for now is a back burner, but I don't want to forget about it. So I have it here. And then I added this week, charge all the things, phones, earpods, or earbuds, just different things. My laptop, like plug everything in before I go to bed because I have had an issue with phone running out of battery, just things like that. So I made a little box for it so that I can remind myself to charge everything before I go to bed. And then obviously I want to constantly remind myself about 75 hard. That is 7 days a week. And then I go over here and how many days a week do I want to get these things done? Now, we have talked about vision here, and you know how important that is to me and how important I think it is to you. So I do think that you should have one of your lines, like this isn't even optional, it's on the sheet. Read your vision, review your goals. Do that several times a week, if not every day. And then end of the day, before you go to bed, mark things down and take a look at what you did. Or maybe you have to remind yourself, oh my gosh, I need to go in, I need to check my orders. Or I need to go in and I need to check comments before I go to bed because I haven't done that since this morning. So that is what this accountability part is for. For me, I read my vision and my goals every single day. I do my end of review. My goal is 7 days a week. Walk high. Now this part, non-negotiable because I'm doing 75 hard. All of these things. Check YouTube Studio. So 5 days a week. Check in Studio Fit Club. Those are my girls. I go 7 days on that. Check website and my Etsy orders. That is 7 days a week. YouTube video. So that's 4 days a week. Because I want 3 shorts, 1 video. I don't feel like the live really counts. Right? I don't think so. Because it's not something I really have to plan that much. And then my social media is, my goal there is 5 days a week. Either a reel or a grid post. Charge all the things. I'm going to go with 5. I'm going to go with 5. You know how many times I did it last week? Once so far. It's not a habit I have adopted yet. And sometimes when I take this in my bedroom with me when I go to bed and I'm checking things off, I'm like, I'm not getting up to go into the office. I just don't want to. So I don't. And then things don't get charged. So I can't mark it off here. This week will be better. That's my goal. And then 75 hard, that is 7 days a week. All right, and then you guys know your yearly goals. These are things you need to think about, things that you need to figure out what your priorities are and what's important to you. So my phone is falling off this little situation. Okay, it is 12:15. This was a little bit longer today. We try and keep these 45 minutes to an hour, but I felt like I had a lot to share today. I hope that's okay. Okay, and I love that you guys think that these padfolios are pretty too, because I can't. I can't wait to get the original or the prototype with all of the customizations. I'm just like, this is like dream come true for me, for sure. I haven't included 75 heart. Are you doing it, Gina? The live counts. Yeah, this is like, I love doing this for sure. Like, I don't feel like a video, you got to really plan for it. A live is so much easier because you just get on and like it's done. I don't have to edit it. Editing videos, I don't have an issue filming things usually. Like, that's pretty self-explanatory, simple. It's the editing process of a main video for me that just takes me forever. You're on day 3. Awesome. Do you have the book? I can't remember if you said. Did you say that you had the book? Or no? The book is a game changer. I didn't start reading the book until day 8, I think. Game changer. Because it puts the mindset part of why you're doing it into the challenge itself, and for me that makes a huge difference. It is worth it. I think it's like $25, $30. Worth it. Definitely worth it. I'm gonna reread it too. I'm reading another book right now. It's called The Discipline is Destiny. So if you guys need a personal development book, it's by Ryan Holiday. You can look it up. I take the paper covers off all my books just because the spines are a lot prettier. But Discipline is Destiny is amazing. Yeah, his podcast is good too. But the book actually, like, it really walks you through and hones in. And you learn a little bit more about Andy himself and his story, which I think is amazing. I think people's stories are awesome. So... okay, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you very much. 949 Designs B3. Thank you for the super chat. That just makes me happy too. So you guys are awesome. Thank you, mods, for being in and posting my links and all the things. Thank you. Hey, Resin, my handle for my YouTube channel is different. I need to make a note because my membership link is different now. Membership link. And my intro, outro, my gosh, Charlani TV is literally on everything. I need to change it now. Oh, but you know what? It was still the wisest business decision, I think. It makes everything cohesive. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll have to change it on my end too. We'll have that done for sure by the next time we stream. I also need to change the what to expect today because we changed that. Because now we fill out the planner last so that people can bounce after topic if they want to. So, hi Doug. Hi Penny Finder. You're welcome, Molly. Thank you, Susanna. Okay, have a great rest of your weekend. We are not streaming next week. We will stream the week after. So I hope you guys have a productive next couple of weeks. And as always, if you ever have questions, concerns, idea topics, ideas in general, scheduling, routine questions, you can always send me a DM in Instagram. It's the best way to get a hold of me, or send me an email. I'm in my email pretty much all the time. So if you send me an email, that's the best way to do it. And it's charlani.livelifehappy@gmail.com. It's in the description box. But you can message me either in my Instagram at Live Happy Planners or Live Happy Label Planners, or on my personal Charlani Everyday account, because I check those twice a day, every day. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Tomorrow's video, I'll see you then too, though. Okay, bye.